Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host, and Lammy Chillmeister, your co-host. Today is August the 14th, 2024. We survived the 13th, so that's good. Well, hopefully you survived. Hopefully nothing bad happened to you. As far as updates, life is just pretty much the same. Just work, sleep, fart, eat, podcast. That's about it. But I have been listening to a podcast. If you're obviously a fan of podcasts, which I assume you are if you're listening to a podcast right now. Jordan Peterson, I know he's a controversial figure. I personally like him as someone who did not have a good fatherly figure. Yeah, he's kind of like my podcast dad. I love Jordan Peterson. I don't agree with him on everything. As far as his Christian ideology, Zionism, that's a whole nother fucking can of worms. Interviewing like Netanyahu and shit. And kissing his ass. But I still love Peterson. You're not going to agree with everyone 100%. Kind of like not everyone in here is going to agree with me 100%. But yeah, he has, Zena Shrek, which was formerly Zena LaVey. She married a guy, the lead singer of Radio Werewolf, Nicholas Shrek. She is the daughter of Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan. So it's a really good conversation they're having. She's just talking about her childhood, her mom, her dad, her parents, her upbringing. She's a Buddhist now, so it's kind of cool to hear her transformation from being raised a Satanist into Buddhism, and really good interview. So if you like podcasts, go check that out. That's what I've been listening to. But let's get on with the show. Okay, today we are covering the closing ceremonies for the Olympics. From an occult perspective, because I am an occultist, I practice ceremonial magic. But I am a conspiracy theorist. I know, a lot of people are like, how are you not a Christian if you're a conspiracy theorist? Well, exactly. Christianity is one of the most biggest conspiracies out there. I find it mind-blowing to be a Christian and a conspiracy theorist. Like, how have you not figured out the whole Christian conspiracy yet? So agree to disagree. But I do find it interesting that most of the conspiracy community, I would say like 90%, especially with the influx we've had from QAnon and shit, are like conservative Christian conspiracy channels. So that's honestly, I think, a lot of the reason why my channel has never blown up. Because I'm an occultist, I practice witchcraft, and I'm a classic liberal. So, yeah, I'm the black sheep of the conspiracy community. I've already figured that out, and honestly, I kind of like it here, you know? There's a couple of us out there, but very few. So, I'm going to, from an occultist point of view, go over the Olympic closing ceremony. We covered I don't know if it was the opening ceremony, but some sort of entertainment that they were having. So go check that out. I think the podcast episode is literally just called Olympics 2024. Should be pretty simple. So if you haven't checked that out, go check it out. We covered Dionysus, the Last Supper, Jesus, Christianity, occultism, all that shit. So, the Olympic closing ceremony, there was basically, go watch it if you can, if they haven't deleted it yet, because with the opening ceremony, I believe that was the Bacchus Dionysus ceremony they did. They deleted it because there was such an uproar of like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, and so if it's still out there, go check it out. I didn't watch the actual footage, but I seen still frames and other content creators covering it, so I got the gist of it. But for audio listeners, I'm going to explain it. Basically, there's a headless, quote-unquote, angel statue, a winged woman missing its arms, missing its head. There is a guy who looks all golden and spiky and shit, and he's being held up by a mound of, like, honestly, like, gray, faceless people who are in, like, bodysuits. Now, a lot of people are saying that this headless statue is an angel. It is not an angel. Sorry to burst your bubble. I personally don't think it's an angel. They've said that it is the goddess Nike, which is the goddess of victory. So it's not, in my opinion, as an occultist, I don't see pagan gods and goddesses or polytheism. I'm a polytheist. I don't see that as a bad thing, to have a Nike statue, a goddess of victory. As far as I know, I'd have to do deeper research because I don't worship Nike, but, maybe we'll do a whole episode on Nike. That sounds like a good episode idea. Maybe just the story of Nike, the good attributes, bad attributes, whatever. And by the way, like, to worship, that word has been Christianized and misused. The actual original definition of worship is to be in alliance with. Christians have taken the word worship, and Jews, and, like, corrupted it to mean like you're supposed to fall flat on your face and like kiss the ground that Jesus walks on. You're supposed to like kiss his feet and, you know, like beg forgiveness and, Lord, you know, I worship you. That is not what the original meaning of worship is. It means to be in alliance with. That's why, like, the Romans actually knew the actual proper definition of worship. You would see in Rome, ancient Rome, little shrines of different gods and goddesses everywhere. And you could go up to the shrine or go to the actual temple of said god or goddess. But a lot of people used the shrines. They were kind of like little phone booths almost. A phone booth to the gods. As weird as that sounds. It'd be this little covered shrine with the god or goddess. A little donation box. And you just put in a coin and pray to said god or goddess for whatever you need. Like usually if you were like a Roman soldier going to war, you would pray to like, I think it's Athena is the goddess of war. There's a god and a goddess of war, I believe. I don't know. I don't worship gods or goddesses of war because I'm not a soldier. Knock on wood. Unless a civil war breaks out, which we're on the brink of here in the United States and Britain. And World War III. But yeah, you see they just put in a coin and just pray, say a little prayer, of like, hey, I will fight for you in your honor. If I win the battle and you protect me, all the honor goes to you. I'll make a formidable donation when I come back from the battlefield to your temple. If you protect me and shit. It was like a give and take relationship which is what worshiping is supposed to be with entities, gods, goddesses. You're not supposed to like literally like worship them, like, you know, falling on your face and kissing their feet and weird shit like that. So it is a statue of the goddess of Nike. Now, there is some darkness to it though. The goddess Nike is the goddess of victory, which we just covered. Why is it missing its head and arms? To me, it's like almost like cuckoldry, demoralization. Definitely. It's definitely symbolic of like, fuck your victory. You know, we're celebrating the opposite of victory, which would be loss. Now you could go into a deeper mindset of what is loss, like loss in general, like we're losing to the elites who control and orchestrate these ceremonies. Are they telling us that we're going to lose? Demoralization. Are they telling us we have lost? Yeah. So I do think there's some darkness to it. I just don't think that it's an angel. A lot of these Christian conspiracy theorists, and it took me like 2 seconds to research like, what is the angel statue? Because at first I thought it was an angel too. I was like, oh, this is like blatant anti-Christian shit. You know, a decapitated angel? Like, what the fuck? And then I realized, like, I just went and Googled it. I'm like, just to play devil's advocate, because we try to do that on this channel. It's Nike. And by the way, too, like, I know Christianity, this is going to turn a lot of you off, but Christianity is based off of older pagan religions. Sorry to burst your bubble. It's pretty much fucking proven. There's been thousands of books written on it. It's based off of like Judaism, obviously the father of Christianity, which is based off Sumerian, Mesopotamian, Zoroastrian, Egyptian, Hindu, which there's an argument of which is older, the Sumerian or the Hindu. There's actually a lot of researchers and stuff who think that Hinduism might actually be the oldest religion out there, which we will get into a little later. But that being said, first of all, angels do not look like humans with wings. They might be able to shapeshift. I have heard that there is Bible verses, because I've read the Bible 6 times cover to cover, because my dad was a preacher, and I used to be a Christian. I left Christianity at like 13, 14, somewhere around there. But there is Bible verses that say that they could like shapeshift. And it's basically, I don't remember what the exact verse says, but it's along the lines of be careful how you treat people, basically, is the warning, because you could be talking to and interacting with an angel in disguise. So just like be careful. And you see that a lot with like Norse mythology, like Odin, which we're going to get into him too. Basically, I did a little episode on Odin. It's not a podcast. It was like, it's kind of like a podcast, but it's real short. It was just a story of how I believe that I encountered Odin, the actual god Odin. That he literally disguises himself as an old man who is homeless, or an old man with a staff who needs help. And what he's doing is testing the hearts of man, of like just kind of checking in on us, like, let's see if people still have hearts down here, where, I don't know, is Valhalla above us or a different dimension? I don't know. I don't study Nordic. I know a little bit. My boss, he's a pagan, and he believes in the Norse gods and shit, so he's always talking to me about it, which is pretty cool. It's one of the few things we actually get along with each other on, and you know, our little thing we talk about. But so it's similar to angels testing us, you know, angels in disguise as men or women. But the oldest, from my research, the oldest depiction of winged humanoids would be the Anunnaki, the old gods, the oldest gods, lowercase g's. Now they had their own religion. I've talked about this. They believed in the creator of all, which is the oldest name for God besides Hu, H-U, Hu, man, God, man. And it's meant to be a tone. Hu. Oh, I got my teeth to vibrate on that one. But that is the oldest depiction of humanoid winged beings, would be the Anunnaki, the Sumerians, as far as my research has led me to. Now, what does this mean? From what there's like at one time, usually in general, at any given time, there is an average of 5 Sumerian tablet, cuneiform tablet translators on the face of the earth. So, if you want to get a job, everyone's always talking about, I need a job. Learn to translate cuneiform. Because apparently there's a gigantic market for cuneiform tablet, translators. Because a lot of these dudes, too, are super fucking old. Zechariah Sitchin is dead now. Rest in peace. I'm a student of him. So at any given time, there's an average of 5 translators, and they're all getting old, so they all will pass away, which means if people aren't replacing them, what we have as far as books on translated cuneiform tablets, that's it. The information is out. I personally love studying Sumeria and Sumerian religion and Sumerian myths and stuff because it's the oldest. But winged humanoids, Anunnaki, does this mean that the Anunnaki literally had wings? This is an argument within the ancient astronaut community, people who are interested in ancient religion in general. There is the school of belief that the Anunnaki had wings, literally had wings, that they were winged humanoids. And then there is the school of belief, which I kind of fall under. I kind of fall under both. It could be both. I'm 50-50. Sorry, I'm a fence sitter on this one. They could have actually physically had wings. But they could have also, there's a belief that they drew wings on them to basically say, because Sumerians was kind of like hieroglyphics. Like, there is the actual writing system, cuneiform, but there's also pictures and stuff. And they believe that they're depicted with wings to explain basically that, hey, these beings can fly. And if you get into Zoroastrianism, which is a branch off of the Sumerian belief, you see them flying around in their chariots, their chariots of fire, which are always depicted with wings. Now, did these actual, and a lot of them look like flying saucers, That's where you get into ancient astronaut theory and stuff. So the Anunnaki would fly around the gods would fly around on these chariots of fire. Does that mean that these high-tech, if they were literal high-tech UFO technology, did they literally have feathery wings on them? doubtful. That's kind of why I agree. I lean more towards the depiction of wings on the Anunnaki and the depiction of wings on their chariots, which they look nothing like chariots. They look like flying saucers, have wings on them. I don't think they literally had wings. I think it's saying, hey, this thing flies, you know. So I think, and by the way, like I said, with paganism, which is the origin of Christianity, whether you like it or not, Christianity is very pagan and has pagan roots in almost all of its belief system. There's many winged beings. I mean, you have Hermes, which we'll get into a little later, because we're going to talk about hermaphroditism. Is that a word? Hermaphroditism? I don't know. Hermaphrodites. We're going to talk hermaphrodites eventually. Hermes, winged being, winged shoes, really. Cherubs, which are like baby angels, which is based off of, not Venus. What the fuck? The Valentine's Day guy. Oh my God. I cannot remember his name. He literally shoots arrows at people and they fall in love. The fuck is his name? You know what I'm talking about. That's basically the origin of cherubs. A pagan Greek god. He's like a god of love. Would shoot, arrows into people and make them fall in love. So you have winged humanoids in other cultures that I believe the Christianity stole off of these people, these other cultures and other religions, and created the angel. And you can go, well, that's blasphemous. I don't like that. Have you ever Google image for me, if you can, if you're able to, Google image biblically accurate angels. The angels are not humanoids with wings. They are literally, the best way that I could describe them is they are like Lovecraftian. You have angels like with 3 heads of like a lion, a humanoid, a bear, an eagle. You have the wheel of Ezekiel, which I'm not arguing semantics. It could be a spacecraft or flying machine, but it could also be, it's described as literally rings upon rings of eyeballs with multiple wings. Yeah, they are horrific looking. Cherubim, seraphim. They're not cute and cuddly little babies with wings. They're not beautiful women with wings. And like I said, maybe they could possibly shapeshift, but the actual form of the angel looks Lovecraftian. That's why in the Bible you see every time an angel would be in contact with a mortal, not immortal, they would always say, you see it like thousands of times within the Bible, or at least hundreds, be not afraid, because they are horrific looking. They're beautiful, but also horrific looking. Looks like something out of a psychedelic trip, as someone who used to be a psychonaut. So, that's the whole conversation on angels, Nike, winged humanoid gods and goddesses, the origin of angels, in my opinion. Now, the spiky gold dude, I did think that it is a possibility that could represent Lucifer, because Lucifer is like the illuminated one, the shiny one. He's described as sometimes the shiny one. I mean, the dude was all gold and spiky and shit. I have heard depictions of people say that Lucifer, he for one was the angel of music, the most beautiful of all the angels. Had the most beautiful voice and shit. And it has been described, it's like, I don't know if it's in the Bible or like Jewish text, Hebrew text, whatever, but it has been described by other people that there are passages in ancient writings that say when he would walk and move, that his body literally had like holes and stuff in it to where it would make music every time he moved. Like the most beautiful music. So, could this spiky gold guy in the ceremony be Lucifer? Maybe. I don't know. First thought though, if you go on instincts and gut, which there's nothing wrong with that. I try to be a realist though. My first thought was, oh, that's Lucifer. That was just my instinct. That's Lucifer. Does that mean anything? I don't know. Am I saying that's Lucifer? No. Make it up. Decide what you want. He does look like the shiny one though. It's interesting. So, next subject, same subject, Olympic ceremony, but we're going to move on to something else. Okay, I almost forgot something. There was too, they did have like this big metal framed thing, like levitate, and all the bodiless or faceless gray humanoid beings, which I think represent us, the masses, were like worshiping this symbol. I am an occultist. I've been, I would say, a ceremonial magician. I started when I was young. I started doing just basic kind of Wiccan style magic, and I didn't really understand that ceremonial magic is where it's at, baby. Solomonic and shit like that. Kabbalah, you know, shit, all that deep shit. Aleister Crowley, you know, secret societies. I didn't realize that there was like better shit out there, better than Wicca. Sorry if you're Wiccan, but that's like Harry Potter shit. Go to where its origins are, grimoires and shit, and learn the real shit. Not this lovey-dovey hippie shit. See, Christians, within the Magick community, we have factions too. You guys don't just fight and argue with each other alone. You know, you're not alone, Christians. We have it too here, you know, as occultists and shit. I could not identify this symbol. Is it an actual symbol? I don't know. To me, it looked like it had the four corners, the compass, which any basic, even Wiccans know that, like, within a magical circle, which it could be a magical circle. It looks kind of like a magical circle. You have to use an athame, which would be like either a sword, which is what I want, a fucking magic sword. I've wanted one for so fucking long. But they use like little wooden athames. Unless you're left-hand path, then you would actually use a metal sharp one, because you're using to actually cut and your hand and shit and blood, and I don't do left-hand path shit. I've done it once with my little brother, and I cut too deep. That's a whole nother story. Maybe we'll cover it on this podcast. I did cover it years ago, and then I deleted it out of shame. But I think it's been long enough. I've grown as a person. I think I could tell that story of be careful with left-hand path magic. Especially blood rituals. So, I'm going to lose a shit ton of subs. They're going to think I sacrifice babies, worship Satan. They're going to hate me after this one. I don't care. Either love me or hate me, because I love you. And I mean it. Where was I going? Oh, the circle. Every magician knows that you have to present with your athame to the four corners of the earth. Four corners. That gets into flat earth and shit. Are we on a flat earth? Well, they probably believed it back then. That's why, you know. But it's compass directions, cardinal directions. Each cardinal direction means a certain thing, like earth, wind, fire, you know, all that jazz. I did notice that the compass, that could be referring to the cardinal directions. Now, in the middle was a circle with, I think, a tinier circle, if I'm thinking correctly, and like a cross. Now, to me, like I said, I do not know this symbol. it reminded me of a magic circle, but it also reminded me almost like a dream catcher. But it also reminded me, actually the dream catcher that's my profile picture. That's the first thing that came to mind. If you look at my profile picture, if you're on YouTube, it's a sideways dream catcher. That dream catcher that is my profile picture, first of all, it's an insufficient dream catcher. It wouldn't actually catch nightmares. That's why I didn't hang it above my bed, but I did think it was pretty. It's made of metal, and it reminded me of that. So go look at my profile picture, dude. It literally looks a lot like that. So that's why I thought Dreamcatcher, you know. But magic circle, maybe. But why would it be upright instead of on the ground? Interesting shit. And magic circles are believed to be essentially portals. Like, King Solomon would trap things into magic circles. You can protect yourself in magic circles. It could be a portal or like a protection bubble. It's a gate, you know. I don't know. I think that's about it. All I have to say about that symbol. Go check it out. Oh, sun worship. It looks like a cross. And honestly, here we go again. We're going to piss off the Christians, but I don't care. First of all, your cross, if you're a Christian, is based off of the Ankh, which is older. That's a key to the afterlife. To sum it up quickly, it's a key to the afterlife. It is the origin of your religion. Or the origin of your cross. And then it gets into sun worship, like the actual cross of the sun. Jesus, the Son of God, died on the cross, you know. Sun worship. It's just sun worship. So if sun worship freaks you out, you should probably stop being a Christian, because what you're doing is sun worshiping. Sun worship to me, though, doesn't freak me out. I don't see it as demonic. I think the sun is a beautiful thing. There's an old George Carlin bit about, he says, people ask me what my religion is. Go look up George Carlin sun worship. It's an awesome fucking bit. I wish I could stitch it in here. But he gets into, you know, what his religion is, and he says, I worship the sun. I'm a sun worshiper, which is like cool. I love it. I would consider myself a sun worshiper. Now, what does worship mean? Go back further in the episode, or do you remember what I said? Worship means to be in alliance with. I'm in alliance with the sun. The sun is a beautiful thing. I'm watching the sunset right now. Sunset. Set. God of darkness. Sunset. You guys getting it? You know, etymology, astrotheology. Hopefully y'all do your own research, but the sun, I mean, it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful to glance at. I like sunset, sunrise. I like what it does. It helps plants grow, flowers grow, food, which I like to eat. I don't know about you, but I love eating. I like that it brings me warmth. During the winter, it melts the snow. After a nice cleansing rain, you know, it comes out and dries everything. Dries the road so I don't wreck my car. You know, the sun is a beautiful thing. Why is it so demonized? I never understood that. Why is sun worshipped so demonized with Christian propaganda and Christian brainwashing of, like, to me, the most peaceful people out there are like sun worshippers, like sun gazers, sun eaters, you know. I just don't understand why I've never understood. Like, I understand there's like Bible scripture that says like the world is evil and it's Satan's domain. To me, that just seems so negative. One of my favorite songs is Joey Ramone. He did a solo album and he did a cover of Wonderful World, What a wonderful world. And all the lyrics are just beautiful. Every time I hear that, I sing along, I start to cry like tears of joy, because this is a beautiful world, man. And I don't understand how Christians just wake up in the morning and they're like, the world is evil, it's all shit, you know. I can't wait till I die. You'll hear people say that. I can't wait till I get raptured, or I can't wait till I die. And it's like, to me, that's horrible. I wake up, dude, and I live in the fucking ghetto, but I have like a beautiful property with trees, and it looks like Fern Gully in my backyard and stuff. Like, I want to make it a fairy home, you know, because I believe in fae folk. I go hiking. I look at it as like God, the creator of all hue, which is what I worship. You know, I see the sun, and it's powerful, man. I just feel power from it. Like, sometimes I'll just close my eyes and look into it with my eyes closed, and everything just goes red, and you feel its warmth, and you feel the wind and the trees and nature, and take your shoes off and walk around barefoot and ground. And I'm like, thank you, creator of all. Thank you, Hugh. Like, this Gaia, Mother Earth, is so beautiful. I understand why you married her, you know. Wonka Tonkin, Father, you know, Father Sky. I understand why you married Mother Earth. Like, it's beautiful. I don't understand how Christians can be so negative and think of, oh, we're in Sodom and Gomorrah, everything's getting worse. Like, well, ignore that. Go to the woods, man. Go hiking. When was the last time you went hiking? Or went to the lake? Went to the beach, if you have beaches near you? Like, I don't understand how you can look at a sunset and just be like, Sodom and Gomorrah, man. You know, Antichrist is coming soon. Can't wait till I die. Can't wait till I'm raptured. Like, I don't want to leave here. I'm having fun. I don't want to die. I really don't. And, you know, my life is not perfect. I'm living in a shit trailer. Literally, there's shit, you know, because my mother-in-law's dog shits all over the place, pisses all over the place. It's been going on for years. I live in a shit neighborhood. I have a shit job. I drive a shit car. I'm poor. I should be one of the most miserable people out there. I struggle with mental issues. I struggle with paranoia. I struggle with depression. I struggle with alcoholism. You know, I have horrible health. My teeth are falling out. I chain smoke. I should be one of the most miserable people. I have acid reflux, and I'm not. I wake up and I'm thankful every morning. I'm like, thank you so much, creator of all. Thank you, Hugh, for letting me hang out on your beautiful plane of existence, this realm. Sorry I got to preaching. This episode stretched out, but I think that's a good way to close the Olympics. And I hope that I inspired you to think differently about the realm we live in, man. Buckle up, Buttercup. Chin up, Buttercup. That's what I meant to say. Chin up, Buttercup, you know. Button up that lower lip, you know. Ooh. Cheer up, man. Life is beautiful. Life is great. And I told you the cards that I was dealt in the existence that I have. I'm not rich. I'm not Illuminati. But I'm thankful and happy every day. You know, I'm grateful that I have a bed. I'm grateful to be on this beautiful plane of existence. I'm grateful to get to play this game of life. Grateful for the friends I have. Grateful for the family I have. Go call a family member you haven't called in a while. Tell them you love them. Tell them, hey, I'm not trying to sell you nothing. I know I haven't called you in a while, but I just wanted to tell you I love you. You know, and I love you guys. You all have a good day. I'm getting teary-eyed.